Hello everybody. This time we have a question about loft construction, how to determine to have a good loft and a good ventilation, or factors to consider to avoid respiratory problems. This is a good question because respiratory problems are linked regularly with loft construction. In general, you can say the better the ventilation of the loft, the less respiratory problems. That's logical because when there's a good ventilation, there's less infection rate of viruses, bacteria in the air, literally in the air, and there is less infection from pigeon to pigeon when there's a good ventilation. For loft construction, also the warmth and the availability of sunlight is also important for the health of pigeons in general. So sometimes what you see for racing condition, if the loft is a bit warmer, they get easier in racing condition, but sometimes those lofts have a less good ventilation. So sometimes you have lofts that are too much ventilated, so those lofts are not warm enough, the pigeons do not get enough racing condition, or the loft has not enough ventilation and gets warm, so then there's more respiratory problem. So good loft is actually a balance between several factors, good ventilation but also sunlight and also good temperature. Okay, that was in general the answer for this question. If you have more questions about this topic or other topics, don't hesitate to ask in the comments. Thank you. Everybody, here we are again at Ask the Vet. We had a lot of questions about feed supplements, and also how to make sure pigeons can keep performing even if they are basketed weekly, also for longer distances. So this is of course a very broad subject. We can talk a lot about that. First of all, the feed is very important. Certainly if you have to basket them a lot, they have to have rich food in fat and in carbohydrates. But also protein is very important in this story. In general, feed supplements, pigeon grains and seeds have a shortage of vitamin B's substances, and also certain minerals. So as soon as you give pigeons something that contains vitamin B's, you increase the condition of your pigeons. And also minerals, grit minerals are very important to have a better condition. Certainly also calcium, not only for bone structure but also for muscle, the working of the muscles, which is very important in physical efforts. For basketing weekly, a very fast recuperation is important, and then we have seen that protein, but also protein very shortly after the race, is very important to have a very fast recuperation. So if pigeons are able to drink, because the first thing a pigeon does when it arrives at home is drinking, when in the drinking water there are a high quality amino acids combination, then the muscles of the pigeon will recuperate much faster and they will have a higher training effect. Also, we sometimes use ketones, the same as in cyclists and in human athletes. We use omega-3 fatty acids because those are also very important to have less painful muscles because of the physical effort, and also a faster recuperation. The better you get your pigeons recuperated, the faster they are again capable of doing a race, and especially a long distance race. But also the feed is very important, enough energy, enough fatty acids, and also on the right time. So those are in general some very important things to do to be able to race week after week longer distances. Okay, thank you. If you have more questions, don't hesitate to ask. Bye.